I was in Zimbabwe, which is an amazing. If any of you can get away to Zimbabwe, that is.
Yeah, he's gonna take us. Yeah, I'm gonna put in the budget for next year.
Please do.
Hey, beautiful people, it's Success Mentor Dante J. Worth, and I'm back with another video right here on Audacious Believer TV. Woo! Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I need you to make sure that hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure that you like this video. And make sure that you are commenting down below. Me and my team absolutely love to read your comments. He's ready to clap. Now, tonight we're being joined by the wonderful, the fabulous, the awesome. Tell him who you are, sir.
My name is Mitch Gruber.
Woo! You got me all tongue-tied. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous. So I invited Mr. Gruber here tonight to talk about changing your mind and changing your life. But before we ask you anything about that, we're going to ask you the question we ask every single guest. What is your story?
Oh, wow. How much time do I have?
I need a little clock ticking, but go ahead.
Well, my story is I grew up here in Rochester.
Awesome.
I went away for a while. Nice. I came back. I was a Head Start teacher up on Hudson Avenue. Learned right away that teaching 4- and 5-year-old kids was something that I did not have the skill to do.
Yeah, it's like a lot of patience.
And I ended up going to work for Foodlink.
Nice.
Which is the Feeding America. We're the food bank here in Rochester.
That's awesome.
Serve all the food pantries, soup kitchens, and learned a lot about what people need, what the needs in our community are.
That's cool.
And then went back to school. Actually got a doctorate in history on focusing on Rochester. And when I finished, I decided to run for city council, and I was blessed to have won last year. So now I still work at Foodlink full time, and I also spend a lot of time doing public service for the city.
When do you sleep? Oh my God! Sleep? Well, who needs that?
Yeah. You're only young once, man. So
Yes.
I got to do the best I can while I got the energy.
That's awesome. So how did you get on the path that you're on in life?
You know, if you were to ask my mother this, all right, that's typically how I try to answer questions, or what would mom say?
Yeah.
My mom would say, so I spent a year in sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
Working on a number of different projects. My mom would say that that's really where she saw it, where when I came back I had changed. And what I realized at the time was just what a blessed life I had lived. What an amazing childhood. 0 to 18 I had lived in a very kind of sheltered way. I grew up mostly in Brighton and the city.
Nice.
And it just became very clear that there were so many issues in our community as people, our world, and the city of Rochester, that I just wanted to dive in and do some work.
Aww, we need more people like him. Thank you, man. Can we all take an international trip with you next time?
Unfortunately, because of my commitments now, I don't get to get away very often. But this is where I want to do the work. The city of Rochester, I think, is a one-of-a-kind place.
That's awesome.
Our history is amazing. Our people are beautiful. Our city is gorgeous.
Nice, it is.
Even, what's today, mid-January? Even today it's a beautiful day out.
Like winter has been holding off all winter for us, and now
Let's keep it away.
Yes!
But this is the community where we got to do work. That's why I'm so happy to be talking to you, because you're doing some amazing work here too.
Oh, you're amazing. You're so sweet. Isn't he a great guy, people? So tell the people out there, someone who's out there looking at your story and they're like, I want to be great like him. What advice do you have for them?
You know, you asked me to talk about changing your mind. I would tweak it a little bit. I would say have an open mind.
Ooh.
I think, to me, that's kind of the key to anyone figuring out where they belong, what their path is keeping an open mind. Because we all grow up in certain contexts. We all live and work and play in certain contexts. But the fact is that context is not representative of the whole. And no matter what you're doing, if you have an open mind and can sit and talk to a person who maybe doesn't look like you, doesn't come from the same belief system that you do, but you can figure out some common ground, the world's a beautiful place.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So talking about change your mind, change your life, a lot of times it's associated with something inspirational, motivational. What does changing your mind, change your life mean to you?
Change my mind means you have to have an open mind to change your mind. So, one of my favorite examples of this is actually when I was away, when I was abroad. I was in Zimbabwe, which is an amazing. If any of you can get away to Zimbabwe, that is.
Yeah, he's gonna take us. Yeah, I'm gonna put in the budget for next year.
Please do, yeah. I'll gladly lead the trip. But when I was in Zimbabwe in 2008, they were experiencing the highest inflation in human history as a nation. So to give you an example, when you go to buy a loaf of bread, it would cost over $1 million Zimbabwe dollars. So it was wild, and it was so unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And you saw people waiting in line for hours to get bread, to get milk, to get gas to put in their car. And what that taught me, it's not about changing our mind, it was about opening our mind to understanding that you have to be patient, right? I live in a place where you go to Wegmans, you're not waiting to get that milk, you're not waiting to get that bread, and you're definitely not waiting to get that gas when you go right around the corner to the house.
But if you go to Family Dollar, sometimes it's like one line. Anyway, you might be waiting about an hour for that one item.
That's true. You gotta wait in lines, but the idea of opening your mind to understanding that not everyone has what you have.
Exactly.
And that level of patience, that level of understanding, that allowed me to come back home, I think, and be a good public servant.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. That's awesome. So, what can you still learn? What can you still learn about yourself in 2019 that you're hoping to learn about?
Oh wow, so much. What elected office has taught me is that there's never nothing simple, right? So we're going through a lot of stuff right now. Right now we're working on things related to police accountability, a lot of stuff around affordable housing, and things that you think are simple are not.
Yeah.
And so what that tells me is you really have to get into the nitty gritty. You got to talk to people. You got to understand different perspectives. One of my favorite examples is speed limits. So when I got elected, I said, okay, we are going to figure out how to reduce the speed limit in residential neighborhoods because there's data out there, and anyone listening, you should read some of the reports from Healthy Kids that show that ultimately the poorer the neighborhood, the more likely there are to be accidents, vehicle to pedestrian. So I said, all right, well, let's figure out how to take a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit down to 20, 25 miles. Seemed pretty obvious, right? It's a public safety, public health issue. When I started to do the work and figure it out, a lot of people in these neighborhoods said, I don't want more reasons for there to be cops in my neighborhood. Oh, bingo, that makes a ton of sense. So again, it seems something that was simple, but actually it's more complex. And that level of complexity has really taught me a lot in the last year. And so I've continued to keep an open mind so my mind can change and I can make better decisions.
That was good. That's tweetable. That's real tweetable. I know that your platform is Healthy Rochester, Healthy Politics. No, I'm sorry. Healthy Politics, healthy.
Let's just say Healthy Rochester.
Healthy Rochester.
Yeah.
What does Healthy Rochester look like to you?
Well, what I talked about in my campaign for over and over and over again was that our zip code is a bigger predictor of our health than our genetic code. That's a major problem, right? You and I are born with our genes, and we think that that's what's going to tell us how healthy we can be, but in reality, where you live is much more important.
That's deep.
And we really need to address that. So in my neighborhood, I live right by the Susan B. Anthony house. In my neighborhood, where there's no grocery stores, where there's a ton of there's a ton of high speed down West Main Street. There's a lot of issues, public health issues, public safety issues that don't necessarily exist right around your beautiful studio. So what are we gonna do to try to level the playing field? And that to me is what a Healthy Rochester is about. It's about leveling the playing field so that every neighborhood, every individual has a chance to live a healthy life.
That's good. He had great answers. Doesn't he? Really good answers. How has being on city council changed the way that you view the city?
It's only given me greater respect and love for this city. It is such a diverse place. It's such an amazing place. We do have work to do. We got a lot of work to do as a city. There's no doubt about that. You know, I after I leave here today, I know you said night, but I'm going to tell the viewers it's not night. It's the day right now, and it's Saturday. I'm going to the public market after this, which is the most amazing. Anyone who goes to the public market, how do you walk away from that place not saying this place is amazing?
Didn't you get married at the public market?
I got married at the public market.
He's amazing.
I love that place, and so that's what drives me. It's just how beautiful the people and the community is here. But we got a lot of work to do. Not every place is as magical as the market on a Saturday morning. You know, there's a lot of parts of our community that feel very isolated, that don't necessarily have the same level of attention and focus, whether it's from the city, the nonprofit sector, the private sector. We got to do more to make every part of our city thrive. And I'm very proud of the work we've been doing and will continue to do this year.
What message do you have for those who feel othered in the city?
I want everyone to engage. I want everyone to engage. If you feel, you asked if they felt othered. Yeah, it's there's no doubt that everyone in some ways does feel othered, right? And it's our job as a community, not just our city council, but ours engaged, active people like yourself, to make everyone feel like there is a place for them to engage and there is a place for their voice to be heard. And so I would say, talk to us, talk to me, talk to Dante, talk to someone, and help us figure out what to do to make you feel like you belong here.
That's awesome! Are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Oh, so is that like a yes? Is it yes or no?
Yes, that's a yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Okay. You know, well, not yes or no, but it's like, you gotta answer really quickly.
Yes.
Good job. You've been practicing. Favorite book?
Invisible Man.
Woo! Favorite movie?
The Big Lebowski.
Sorry. What inspires you?
Oh my goodness. It's not rapid fire. What inspires me? Justice.
Ooh. And to be audacious means to be...
To be bold.
Ooh.
No doubt.
Yes. So tell the people how they can find you online, how they can support you.
You can find me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Mitch Gruber, and I have a website, mitchgruber.com. Or is that what it is?
I think is it Mitch Gruber from Rochester?
Honestly, it's been a year since I ran for office, so my website might be a little outdated. But I'll work on that. I promise. I'll post this video right to it. But honestly, most importantly, you can find me on the city website. And if you have any questions for me about what we can do as a city to make the city work for you, email, phone numbers right on there. Please connect.
Woo!
And support this man. Like this page.
Yes, please. And share this video, please. Okay, so until next time, remember that life is meant to be enjoyed and not just endured.